We're going to explore the gene code, first of all. And to explore the gene code, I'm going to do a quick recap. Okay, you can just move through those kind of fast, until we get to charts and graphs and things. We're going to do a real quick recap on understanding relationships between dimensions, DNA, and consciousness. Because if you don't understand how these things fit together, you will not understand what an indigo is compared to a non-indigo. And you will not understand what indigos need to have done to help them. So do a real quick recap on now dimensions. When we talk about dimensions in the paradigm that most of you are from, have been in other workshops, so I don't have to go from kindergarten back up to here, which is good, saves time. Dimensions, they're interwoven layers of scalar waves. We have a definition for dimensions. Well, if you notice, with science, it's more of a word that's used to describe attributes of something, but it is not considered a something. It's not a noun. In our vocabulary, a dimension is a noun. It's describing a scalar field, a specific thing that has specific characteristics. So we have a model of reality that if you don't understand the interdimensional model, you will not understand who an indigo is and why it's important that they're here. So I want to show you where the dimensional structures and those paradigms fit with the whole indigo issue. Now, we have the dimensions or interwoven layers of scalar waves. This is all in there. It's like a refresher in the book, so anybody that didn't get pieces of it, you see where they all fit. Scalar waves are points of standing waves composed of literally units of consciousness that flash on and off. Particle units, particle, particle, particum. There's a whole science behind this. So I'm not just winging it off the top of my head, talking about vague stuff. I know what I'm talking about this dimensional structure, whether science wants to agree with me or not. And right now, I don't have time to prove it to them. If I had 25 years to walk them through step by step and learn their terminology to plug it into mine, they'd be blown away. I don't have time, because right now, we have issues happening that we need to learn how to use energy quickly. And it's only the people who are beyond the point, well, prove it to me, who sense that, okay, teach me something. I'll learn and I'll work on the proof later. They're the people I speak to, because they're the ones that will make a difference here, while the scientists are still scratching their heads trying to figure out why there's solar changes happening that they haven't predicted and don't understand why they're happening. There are things happening here the scientists don't know yet. They don't know why. They're seeing, observing symptoms. They're observing indigos. They're observing solar changes. They don't know what is happening. Somebody needs to get a group of people together that has some idea of what's happening so we can make it work in a way that's healthy for our race. All right, when we get into dimensions and scalar waves, I like this because it helps bring it all together. Cyclic repeating patterns of flash line sequences form frequency bands. A dimension is one full frequency band. Now, frequency band is a term we've heard of here. Okay? Science talks about frequencies. If we can understand it one step deeper than that a frequency band is a repeating pattern of what's called flash line sequences. Flashing on and off of stationary, fixed, standing wave patterns, scalar waves. This is where frequency comes from. It's not just an observable symptom of something unidentifiable called the universe and its energy mechanics. Frequency is repeating patterns of flash line sequences that happen because of units of consciousness, particle, particle, particum, firing at certain specific rhythms on and off to each other. They are internal fission and fusion generators. In fusion, particle, antiparticle come together, creates an immediate reciprocal fission or replication. So it's a continual, perpetual motion universe we live in. And science hasn't been able to figure out how to identify this yet. All comes down to scalar wave technology and understanding what scalar waves are, how they're literally forms of consciousness, and how everything is composed of consciousness. So it's a dimensional model that, give them about 50 years, and the right people, probably indigos, coming in to take the science jargon now and make it grow to where it can fit these concepts. These are our ways to take words like, muons, electrons, photons, and plug it into this model. They fit. But we're starting at the deep level, the morphogenetic level, the template of light, sound, and consciousness that everything else is built on. We'll work up to where all those other pieces that they've identified fit. So it's a model that, it is the model that's used in the future actively. We are being visited by beings from the future, whether we want to admit it or not, because they understand this model. Why can't we visit them? Because we don't understand this model. If science could open to that concept, they would start to realize, wow, we could learn something here, So I don't have time to argue with people who are saying, yeah, but, prove this, prove that. So here's the information. Take what you know. You go prove it to yourself. And I can teach you some abilities to open to your higher consciousness, so maybe it can guide you. but they don't want to know about this. So it's like people like this that are willing to say, okay, I'll learn something new. I'm open to learning. I would not doubt that a good percentage of you are indigos, because this is a model that resonates with indigos if they haven't been thoroughly programmed by peer pressure through the school systems. They will feel a sense of, that makes more sense than what I'm being taught. They'll respond to these types of models because they resonate with where they come from, with future time. Okay? Let's see. Morphogenetic structure. This all comes down to what we're doing with dimensions, scalar waves, frequency bands. We're talking about the templates that matter and consciousness are built upon, that give us the experience of space-time, matter, and physicality. That's what it comes down to, the core of what manifestation takes place on. If we can understand there is a model that shows us how these pieces fit together, we can understand a whole bunch of other things. But if you don't understand multidimensionality, you won't understand any of it. You won't understand indigos, you won't understand yourself, you won't understand what religion was trying to teach you all along, you won't understand what science is trying to find. So it's worth absorbing the model, and it'll grow. This model is just the bare bones, the beginning. There's a lot of technical stuff that I don't even want to deal with. Fortunately, it's not my contract, so I don't have to. You know, I'm here to bring in the functional framework and to bring in the information on what needs to be done fast to make positive changes here. So I'm not going to haggle on details and like spend a million years teaching you mathematics from the future and that kind of stuff. We'll get there. You know, somebody else will do that job. Thank goodness. You could flip that.